Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Papa Boris here, playing some more Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization. I do plan to play multiplayer when I have more time. I'm going to have to take a chance that the baby sleeps long enough one of these days. But first, let's go ahead and do one custom game against a hard AI. This AI does sometimes beat me. It's not often, but it does happen. So I got to give major kudos for the developers because they, usually I just don't even expect a complex board game to have any remotely decent AI. If you know anything about computer science, you know it's just very, very, very difficult to do with the resources that, a board game studio has. But somehow Czech Games Edition pulled it off. This is a pretty strong AI. We'll see what happens. They do make some odd moves, but overall they sometimes win. So either I'm really bad or they're strangely good in ways I can't comprehend. So here we'll do a little bit more strategizing. In this sort of a situation, it can be difficult to tell whether you should take a leader from the middle or a wonder and some janky card from the first row, especially when Colossus is not, even after the buff it was given, this text didn't used to be there. Even after this buff, it's not maybe the premier wonder. There's a temptation to wait and see, like, well, what if I get this library instead? And so for that, you have to look at what your opponent did. My opponent took a leader, not a wonder, so he could take the library, but he's less likely to take it if it's in the middle row. So if I don't let this library fall down to row number 1, where it's available for 1 pip, there's a decent chance it'll be available for me, and I might rather have the library with its bonus science as opposed to the Colossus with its bonus strength, colonizing, and extra military cards. So right now the library is set to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, which means I can take 1 card and it will still go here, and the opponent wouldn't be able to grab it for 1 action. So I'm going to go ahead and take a rock opening. I'm going to grab Rich Land, which lets me make my mine for 1 rock less, and Urban Growth, which lets me make my lab for 1 rock less, for a total of 2 bonus rocks, kind of like a poor man's engineering genius. And now the library lands in the bitch spot for my opponent, and it's up to him to decide, am I going to spend the 2 actions to take this library or not? He decides he is. Worked out badly for me, because now the Hanging Gardens is going to land in the bitch spot. So if I want an AJ Wonder, I have to take the Hanging Gardens, and Engineering Genius is right behind it, so I could take them both and then just pass on everything my first turn. Well, this turned interesting, so now I actually could take the Engineering Genius and build one of the 2 prime Age 1 Wonders, which just happened to be at the top of the deck. So let's get frisky. Let's grab this Genius for 2 actions, build a mine for 1 rock less, and then I have a choice. I can either raise my population, or I can grab one of these leaders. Now, what am I doing next turn? Well, next turn, if I grab a leader, I'm going to raise population, build a lab, put one of these wonders under construction. That's 3 actions. So I could, for example, take and play Aristotle. Oh, no, I can't do that. I play the leader, raise pop. Yeah, that's 4 actions. So if I want it, I want to take a leader now. So I can take Hammurabi for the extra civil action per turn, effectively, or I can take Moses for the extra food every time I increase my population. It's a tough call. I'm going to grab the Hammurabi here. I could see merits for either way. In fact, what I really should do is take him, play him, and then use his bonus action to build my mine, or basically do one of the things I did that turn. And that way I'll have an extra civil action through most of Age 1. Hammurabi used to have text that made it so that picking up a new leader cost 1 less civil action. It was completely unnecessary, because he's good enough without that. Without that, he's a little bit less, of a powerhouse, but still very good. Okay, now if you end up doing this weird thing that I did, which is you skip the Age A Wonder and you pick up an Age 1 Wonder, there's 1 card you have to be very careful of, and that is Ravages of Time. If you're rocking St. Peter's Basilica and this comes up, you are completely hosed. Unless you can destroy another wonder, which if St. Peter's is your only wonder from Age 1 and Age A, you can't. So you just lose a gazillion happy faces. So when you play, I'm not saying you shouldn't ever take St. Peter's, but the more players there are, the more likely it is to happen. In a 2-player game, it's the least likely to happen because the card might never be drawn. And if it is drawn, there's a 50-50 chance that you get it. Whereas in a higher player count game, the card is more likely to be drawn because more of the deck will be drawn since there's more players drawing from the deck. And if it is drawn, you have a smaller chance of being the person to draw it. So all in all, it's a thing to keep an eye out. Like maybe you spend an action at some point to pick up a happy face producing card, even though you don't plan to use it, just in case St. Peter's gets blown up. Or you can build another leader or another wonder from Age 1, which I can't really I mean, I could, like, pick up the Great Wall or the Taj Mahal, but the other best wonder is this university. And I wouldn't be able to get both the university and St. Peter's at this point, obviously. So which of these wonders do I build? Well, they both cost 3 stages. They both cost similar rocks. The university does cost 1 additional rock to build, but the stages are more balanced. The St. Peter's new version has this 6 in the middle, which can be difficult. In the original version of the game, St. Peter's was 4-4, and then it would have been a total no-brainer. So what I'm going to do here is, I guess I will just go for the St. Peter's, because it is such a high-impact thing. Am I going to play this event? No, I don't want to risk having no worker when the free temple comes up, if the free temple comes up. So I'm not going to risk it. So we're going to leave that there. We'll take St. Peter's, raise population, build lab. I am going to raise population again, and we'll spend a rock to build the first stage using Hammurabi's bonus action. So next turn, I'm going to have 4 rocks plus 2 with the Engineering Genius. That's 6. I can make the middle stage. And if any rocks come up in the events, which didn't that time, oh, Caesar plays again, and still didn't. Okay, cool. I could have actually finished the wonder. All right, am I going to build a free warrior? Well, I've got my lab. Yeah, I'll build a free warrior. It's 2 free rocks. And if I get a fighting band, then it's already made. All right, my opponent does get swordsman, which was a bit scary. He could potentially get pretty high. Is he going to throw away Caesar? He throws away Caesar. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. So he's ahead of me, but not by enough to make me worry. Okay, so here, do I play an event? We both have a worker ready for a temple if a temple shows up. I mean, neither of us makes much culture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not play an event, because when you play an event, it speeds up the rate at which these events appear, and they are likely to be, well, they're more likely than not to be events that are not good for me. So I'm not going to hasten them along. You might think like, oh, well, but this is a safe event, so you're putting something safe in there. That's true. If I let my opponent put all the events in there, they might all be bad events. But if I put the safe event in here, it also speeds up the rate at which the potentially bad events my opponents put in there are going to show up. There is, of course, the counterbalancing possibility that I get a free rock from this and I can finish the St. Peter's right now. And that is definitely tempting. The thing is, I'm also tempted by just taking alchemy, researching it, and upgrading a lab to start getting my science going. In which case I wouldn't want to build St. Peter's anyway, so I'm not going to play an event. So you can see there's a lot of thinking that can go into some seemingly mundane decisions. Okay, we're going to go ahead and build 1 stage of this wonder. I'm going to... Oh, no, wait. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to take alchemy, research it, upgrade a lab, and I'm going to grab Monarchy here. Monarchy is a really good card for Hammurabi because you can do the revolution and still play 1 action. A lot of the times, the reason you don't want to do a revolt is that, like, when you revolt and you lose all your civil actions, then you might be, like, corrupt. Like, for example, I will be. But with Hammurabi, you can then play, like, 1 action, and that often makes the difference between being or not being corrupt. Sadly, I don't have anything good to do with my bonus action from Hammurabi. I could take Warfare. I'm not that likely to research it. I am not that likely to get either of these things. I guess we'll take Theology. In the event that I do need more happy faces if St. Peter's gets blown up, well, this is my backup plan. So I might, like, if I build a temple, which I'm likely to do with St. Peter's to get happy faces, then I can upgrade that temple later to Theology if necessary. Okay, what are you doing here? Raising population, making a swordsman, getting an engineering genius. Okay, so this is getting a little bit scary because now he's 4 ahead. At 4 is where even if you have a defense card, you need 2 defense cards to actually stop from being aggressed upon. And it's awkward. This is, see, the computer, when it wins, it sometimes just gets this early military lead, and I'm like, whoops, kind of got caught with my pants down. So I don't think there's any point in playing any events here. I'm going to skip politics. Sadly, if I revolt to monarchy and upgrade a lab, I still am corrupt. So what we'll do is upgrade my other lab. Especially if he ends up raiding me, it'll be good to have a backup lab. I got to raise population to avoid being corrupt. And I can pick up 2 more, or I can only pick up 1 more card. That's the problem with doing that thing I did. Because now I'm going to run up against my hand limit. I mean, I might have wanted to take, for example, all 3 of these cards, but I couldn't have done it anyways, and now I definitely can't because I can only take 1 more card. I don't want to research Theology. I can't play the Engineering Genius. I'm 2 rocks short. I could take and play a leader. Joan, I don't have anything yet with this, but I could eventually. I am going to want temples at some point. Okay, we'll do this. The question is, do I play her now? It's a bit early at the moment. This thing needs 7 more rocks. I can actually finish it next turn, but then I cannot build any temples. So all she's doing is giving me an extra military action. You know what? I'm actually going to do it, though. I'm going to do this, and the idea is that by doing this, I increase my odds of drawing a defense card, and with 3 military actions, you need only 1 defense card to block an aggression, which might potentially discourage the opponent from actually playing aggressions in the first place. Okay, so iron or irrigation. I can't take any more cards after this. So I'm really being punished for grabbing that theology. Okay, I'll research irrigation. It's a bit of a sketchy move to research something if you're not building it anytime soon, but that's what I'm going to go for. So he gets iron, researches it, picks up a rock thanks to Leonardo. He's going to work on that library. Interesting, so he didn't finish the library, but he also didn't upgrade his mines twice. That's fine with me. Okay, so now I definitely don't want to play any... Oh, I can see my event. What is this? 2 science. It's not important to me right now, so I'm not going to play any events. And I'm going to think. I could pick up knights to make this tactic happen. I think that's good. So we'll grab a knight. We'll grab this one. The other one falls away, so he's not getting any knights. Now we'll play Engineering Genius to get a card out of my hand, blissfully. Finish St. Peter's, so I'm at 3 culture per turn to his 0. And I've got 1 action left. Ugh, there's just nothing good to pick up. I could research knights and commit to that. I'm not sure I want to commit to that. I'd rather just build a temple, honestly, than do knights. We'll put this tactic in. Should I put the tactic into play? Yeah, I don't mind putting it into play. He doesn't have any knights, so he's not going to be able to get it until he gets cavalrymen. So we'll just throw that out there, but that doesn't solve the problem of what the hell card to take. It would be nice if there was some good yellow card here, but I'm not getting that. Okay, we'll grab a somewhat speculative printing press. I could take masonry, but I'm not sure I'm going to need it. I'm pretty much not going to enslave him, so we're going to throw that away. Wealthy territory, maybe I'll play that if I pick up navigation in age 2. Okay, so my opponent could have actually pulled off an aggression, but luckily he didn't have one or chose not to play one. There's not actually that many aggressions in age 1. One thing to keep in mind, oh, he got the cartography, so he might have put some colonies in there. One thing to keep in mind, if I could show that in this app. Okay, here we are in the industrial age, fine. Yes, 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 it goes in there, okay. In age 1, there's not that many aggressions. There's only 6. And they're not too bad. So plunder, you lose 3 resources. Enslave, you lose a population. Raid, you lose a building. It's not the end of the world. It's in age 2 where things start to get pretty serious. Okay, so what do we got? We got a colony. I can see this because of Joan of Arc. Do I want to flip it? Nope, I do not. So I'm going to make my opponent do it. My opponent is desperately in need of fixing, and the colony would fix it for him by giving him an extra yellow token. So I don't want to do that for him now. I want to make sure he actually is willing to play an event. So what I will do is skip politics. Let's build a temple. This gives me 2 strength, 1 for the happy face of the temple, 1 because the St. Peter's gives me a bonus happy face, and Joan gives a bonus strength for each temple's happy face, so that's pretty good. And now we have to research something, which sucks because I don't have... Oh, wait, hang on a second. I guess I never did get around to revolutionizing monarchy, did I? Well, let's do it now. So that gives me 2 extra hand spaces, which is great. We'll look at these yellow cards and cry because they suck real bad, but I guess I will eventually build something with urban growth, and I will eventually probably use patriotism. So we'll grab those. Oh, I still have another action. Oh my god, that's so many actions. Okay, should I go for printing press? I could actually go for theology and upgrade this. Sure, you know what? F it. Let's do that. It's only 2 science. Let's see, I don't want to put colonies now that he got the cartography, so we'll do that. Okay, so I'm hoping he somehow doesn't have any events. Maybe these are all like tactics cards or something. Alright, does he have any events? Time to find out. Hey, there's navigation. Okay, he does actually not have any events, which means that he had to destroy one of his labs to prevent the uprising. That's huge. And he's going to work on his economy, increase his strength some more. Okay, so I'm now 5 behind, still no defense cards. At this point, I do have 4 military actions because of Joan and Monarchy, so if I just upgrade this, it does give me enough strength to not be screwed. Or I could research knights and just frickin' make a knight. That's another option. Okay, I still don't want to really play the colony. I might have considered it before, but maybe there's a chance he doesn't have any more events if he didn't draw an event right here. He might not have any more events, and then I might be able to sneak in navigation when I have more science next turn. Okay, so I could actually make a printing press. Spend 3 science, make a printing press. Get an extra culture. Doing very well on culture here. I could push it, get more science. It's an interesting idea. Another idea is coal came out somewhat early. I could try to pick up coal. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. So if I take this rich land, it guarantees that both the rich land and the coal will be available to me if Michelangelo does not take them. He might take rich land for his last iron, though. But if I take this one, the rich land ends up being in the bitch spot. So I could try to gear up for a coal. But I don't really want to do navigation. Yeah, if I take this, navigation will fall off. So, okay. Let's try to get coal down the road. Will I take it and play coal on my next turn? I will be able to. So, as long as I don't spend any science. So what if I like urban growth and upgraded my temple, so I'm safe from stuff. And now I can, I guess, upgrade a farm. 4 plus 2 is 6. Yeah, that'll be enough to do 1 upgrade. Sadly, I just, again, have nothing good to take here. Or good to do. So I don't like this plan because it's just using my actions way too inefficiently. I could grab Napoleon, I guess, for the future. So when I replace Joan, I still get a strength bonus. My opponent, will he take Napoleon? Well, he only has 1 type of unit. He might not take Napoleon. I don't like this plan. It just ends up being too clunky, and I'm not using my actions well enough. So we'll go a different route. I'm going to go ahead and printing press, urban growth to make this library. And then I can still upgrade, I can still upgrade a farm. And then now we'll just pick up 2 janky-ass cards and pass. I'm pretty much never going to be aggressing on him, but then again, I'm probably not going to play some of this crappy stuff either. So we'll get rid of... Actually, cultural influence, culture per culture remake, that would be good for me. Crusades probably isn't good, and Civil Unrest isn't that great. I'm probably never going to... Actually, I don't need this because I already have the Phalanx. So okay, we'll throw that away. It's not a bad idea to keep around wars even if you are behind, because maybe you'll be ahead someday and then you can do the war. It often happens where, like, you know, things turn around all the way and then you really wish that you had kept some war cards so you could actually take advantage of your sudden rise in power. Okay, so he's grabbing Napoleon, which is not a bad plan because, yeah, it just gives him only 2, but if I had taken it, it would have given me eventually 4, and that's like an 8 strength swing, which is a lot for a leader, which is an argument why maybe I should have taken it myself. Okay, so now I'm 7 behind, and he's drawing up to 3 cards. This territory is still there. I still don't want to help him out, although it doesn't actually help him out that much. Now the extra worker goes here. It's only 1 worker. The question is, do I really care about events? And the answer is not really, so we'll just pass, I think, on the politics. And I think now's the time to get the knights. I make enough science, I'll be able to research coal next turn. I'm going to take... Oh, I don't actually have any free workers. Oh, good job, Boris. You're so good at this game. Okay, so we're going to upgrade the farm with the rich land. I'll take the H2 rich land for the coal. And then... If I don't research the knights, then I can't take any cards. So I do need to research it. Question is, do I take 3 science or cannon? I'm not going to get cannon anytime soon, but it stops Napoleon from getting cannon. Actually, he doesn't have any workers to use on cannon, even with the developed territory. So I'm going to let that cannon go. It's risky because then I really kind of want to take the other cannon. It's good to get cannon so you can make artillery tactics with it at some point. But right now I really could use some extra science. So, no, I'm going to trust my instincts. We're going to get the cannon. All right, what are we throwing away? Well, I don't want this colony. And I'm pretty sure this is never going to happen, so we'll throw that away. All right, 2 different wars. All right, we'll keep the wars, throw away the aggression. Infiltrate is a really good aggression. It destroys your opponent's leader or wonder under construction. If you use that to destroy an age 3 leader, it can be really game-breaking. Okay, luckily I got this age 2 defense card and just some garbage to throw away to block his aggression. And then next turn, I can make a worker, build a knight, and get an additional 5 strength, so I'm safe again. Maybe I should have taken Napoleon. I would have been like significantly ahead on strength with Napoleon. Does he have... Okay, so I don't need to take draft the selective breeding. I don't think I want to give him this colony still. So we'll just skip the politics. And this turn, we are going to coal up rich land, Play patriotism and upgrade population to get a knight. So I'm just 2 behind now, and it's thinking time. He would love to get this constitutional monarchy. With 4 science, he can actually get it next turn. So I'm gonna do. I'm tempted to do a hate draft to prevent him from clambering out of the main way that he's behind me now, which is, well, he's behind on science and culture, and soon to be behind on rocks. But the main way he's behind on me is he's lacking civil actions. This would give him 2 extra civil actions, and the 2 extra military actions would let him keep more cards and potentially draw more cards. So I'm gonna actually hate draft that. I have no intention of playing it myself since I already have monarchy. But with the impact it has on him, I think it's worth doing. All right, there. He finally plays the territory. Now I can just bid him up, I guess. Oh, he bid 4. Oh, I can't actually beat that without spending 2 units, right? Because I can tie it. All right, so 4 it is. So he just spends a swordsman plus the cartography bonus to get that colony. It's not the end of the world that he got that. Oh, strategy, that's a hard one. Ugh. Eek. All right, so he's 5 ahead now. I do have my defense card, so I'm still safe. As long as he doesn't do a war. Uncertain borders. This is the worst event in Age 1 if you're behind on strength. You lose a yellow token and they gain 1. It's tough, but I just can't really get ahead of him, I don't think. Unless I go crazy. Yeah, God, I should have taken some frickin' Napoleon, man. If I had him and my opponent didn't have him, it would be very different. Okay, well, what are we going to do here? I don't want to play into that. I want to make him play it if he's going to play it. We can go for Bach and Opera. It's a very strong combo. Bach gives 2 culture by himself. Your theaters produce an extra culture, and the theater technologies is less. You can also upgrade things to theaters that are not, like any urban building can be upgraded to a theater. So I can actually upgrade my temple to a theater and get a bunch of culture that way. The thing is, I'm already kind of ahead on culture, and that's, that's pretty aggressive on the culture game because my opponent is going to push military. So I'm probably not going to do that. What I'm going to do is grab riflemen, though I can't research them now. I'm going to upgrade a second mine to coal. We'll grab the reserves. And think, I don't want the Kremlin. Actually, is this the game for the Kremlin? You lose a happy face, you gain 2 culture and gain 1 civil action of each type. That would actually help me quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to get a bit greedy and try to do the Kremlin. So we're going to pass on the Bach Gambit. But I will see if I can squeeze this Wonder in for some extra culture and improve my military and civil actions. Okay, this is actually a nice pickup, this tactic. So he's going for it again. All right. Now I'm actually not safe with just military actions alone, so it's good that I drew that defense card, or that I had it. I think I already had it. He spent 3 actions to grab an efficient upgrade. See, this is one of those things. I am completely mystified what an efficient upgrade would even do for this AI, because he has nothing to upgrade, and the scientific method's falling off. It's just a bit of a weird play. He spent a lot of actions on it. Okay, I'm not going to play into uncertain borders still. What I will do, though, I could upgrade my coal, but I think this is the time to research cannon and build a cannon. So I'm ready to switch to this tactic. Next turn, I can research rifleman and upgrade my guy so that this is not obsolete. I guess maybe I should just take reserves and spend 6 rocks to upgrade my last coal mine. I can take 1 more card. Sadly, nothing here. Oh, leader, right? Okay, yeah, let's back this up. So I'm going to take Napoleon and play him, because Joan of Arc's about to die anyways. We're going to then research cannon, getting a civil action back. Do this and this. And I can still play the reserves and upgrade my coal mine, only now I have an extra action. No, I don't have an extra action because I spent that extra action making Napoleon, Newton. But Newton is in play, is the point. And so now here we have a couple different options. Journalism, I could upgrade my printing press, but I'm going to take a seemingly mysterious scientific method. So the reason for this is that if one of those leaders shows up in age 3 that cares about labs and stuff, like Sid Meier, for example, or Bill Gates, you can actually get some good value with scientific method, even if computers is slow to show up. And that has been very useful in some games. Yeah, there it is. That has been useful in some games, just being able to get decent value out of those leaders with scientific method, and not relying on computers showing up in order for those leaders to be good. Okay, so my opponent allowed cannon and cavalry to fly by, which I'm fairly confident is a pretty big mistake. So here, I am in a little bit of trouble with my happy faces. Luckily, I think I might be able to squeak out of it. What I can do is I can upgrade for 2 rocks to this theology, which gives me the extra happy face, which is great. I could have actually researched my I could have actually researched, or not researched, expanded my population and built a new temple. But what I really want to do is upgrade my riflemen. I can upgrade them both, and then upgrade to this new tactic. Actually, interesting. I don't have to upgrade them both because I picked up yet another tactic, the Napoleonic Army, which is same number of units, but more strength, 1 more, so we'll grab that. I'm definitely taking air forces, because that is extremely useful. And the question is, what do I do? If there were a card that gave science, I would take it. 4 + 6 is sadly only 10, so I can't research air forces next turn. I could take cavalrymen in case I want to do some H3 tactic at some point. But sometimes you can kind of make this play where if you're a bit ahead on culture, you can just go full bore for military and, you know, see if you can win that way. If I make a new worker, it's unhappy, so I'd have to make him into a temple. Then maybe it's better just to do that up front. Let's research, make a new temple, research, upgrade 1, play Napoleonic Army, so I'm ahead. Now I have an extra action. Well, I'm taking the air forces, and what else? Frugality, I'm only making 1 food a turn, so I'm pretty much out of workers. I'm probably actually going to use this guy to make into an air force. So frugality is pointless, and I guess that means that I'm just going to take cavalrymen or architecture. Architecture could be useful. Alright, we'll take that. It helps me build wonders quickly, because being able to build 3 stages of a wonder in 1 action is potentially a useful thing. Alright, so I'm looking to get the air forces to happen, and maybe try to declare war on my opponent. If I draw an H3 war, that would be preferable. Otherwise, I would use one of these. This would steal yellow tokens. This steals science. Okay, so he's actually generating more culture than me now because of the Eiffel Tower. And he could take Gandhi, actually. If I don't want to take Gandhi myself because I already kind of committed to the combat plan. Okay, so what are we doing here? I could take Chaplain for extra happy faces, but let's do this. I'm going to research architecture, getting my civil action back. I'm going to get the Kremlin built with all my rocks, so I'm making 2 culture per turn. I'm tying him, and I'm a little bit ahead. I'm going to grab Revolutionary Idea. Oh, shoot. The Kremlin... Oh, the extra happy... Okay, I'm going to just disband, I guess, this warrior. So he'll be unhappy for the moment. We'll do that. I'll take another Revolutionary Idea. And in case my opponent gets ahead of me... Oh, no, I wanted this military theory eventually, right? That's huge. It's 5 strength and 3 military actions. That's good. Okay, my baby's making noises. I might have to pause the video here. Let's take a quick look at the baby monitor. What are you doing, baby? You're crawling around on all 4s? Ah, colony. Very nice. He passed on this? Okay, well, I'm going to pause for a second. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out what to bid for this colony my opponent strangely passed. Right now, I do need all of my units, so I'm going to have to rebuild the unit if I get the colony. On the other hand, rebuilding a knight's only 3 rocks, and I think it's worth it to get 2 yellow pips and a free explore. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this knight in here. Grab that colony. Yep. And that was Green's political action, so he still has to take his turn. The nice thing about going behind when you get a colony is on your opponent's turn is that they now can't play a political action because the colony was their political action. Oh boy, he shot up there. Okay, well I was planning on actually doing a war, but I don't know if I can get ahead of him anymore, even with my air forces. So let's see, what events are in here? I don't know, it's all stuff he played. Impact of Strength is a very good event. These impact events are very good if you can win because they're just a guaranteed 10 points ahead. Assuming, of course, you meet the condition. Here, I don't know if I'm going to meet it. I mean, Napoleon's going to be dead by the time this pops, but he's only getting 4 from Napoleon, so it's not like a big enough difference. I could actually... Okay, Impact of Variety, what's the scoring on that? Yeah, about the same. Okay, so I'm going to skip politics. Einstein's actually kind of tempting. At this point, I would rather have the extra 3 points, then a civil action back. I don't know if I'm willing to spend 3 civil actions just to get him, though. Let's just mess around. Nice thing about the app is you can kind of see what things would look like. My hand's full. So we play the revolutionary idea, grab Einstein, play him, research air forces. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I am a rock short of being able to actually make an air force. Well, the good news is that this is actually interesting. This is technically better than the, I should probably do that instead. Let's make that so I could do this H3 tactic. I am safe now, even without any defense cards. I'm actually in line to block aggression, so that's actually pretty good. 1 science and 1 action short of being able to research military theory. Okay, this is actually going to be pretty good because next turn, I, with my 16 science, can do military theory and build an airplane for a bonus of 5 plus 9 is 14 to go up to 32, and then I can womp him, probably. He can't make any advanced tactics whatsoever. So, basically, what do I pick up? I could take the reserves, or I could take computers. The computers would be nice because, of course, that would let me research more stuff. How much time is left in the game? I'm not sure, but I will... Oh, gosh, next turn I'm spending all my rocks and science on military theory, so the computers is not going to be for the turn afterwards. Probably what I'm better off doing is just researching scientific method. It's 1 more science compared to my alchemy instead of 3 more. So it's sort of tempting to get. And then the computers is an extra 1 because it's an H3 lab, so it's better with Einstein. Will I ever actually get these computers online is the question. Well, let's see. It costs, with architecture, 9 to build a computer and 5 to make an alchemy. So it costs 4 rocks. I'm going to have 13 rocks. Yeah, I can make an airplane and upgrade a computer, so I think that's worth it over the reserves, which is the other thing I was thinking about. Okay, so I'm never going to do these wars. Well, I'm definitely not doing that, and I'm not doing that. So we'll send those away. These Age 2 wars do get worse and worse the further in the game you go, but getting a war over technology is still not bad. Okay, here it is. The Ravages of Time. So I lose St. Peter's Basilica, which means... Oh, man, I am in a heap of trouble all of a sudden. Well, that's going to change my plans a bit. I think I'm going to actually just have to straight up build an extra temple, which will... I don't even think that's actually going to be enough. Alright, we're going to have to dick around a little bit, see what's going to happen. I might have to toss away a lab or something. It's annoying. Okay, so, War over Culture. Maybe that's better to do once Napoleon leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mess around and see if I can do a War over Territory to get some yellow pips in here. That would help me with my happy face issues. So I'm behind him right now, but I can do Revolutionary Idea, Military Theory, and build an airplane. And I'm at 37. Problem is I've got 3 bad happy faces. Even if I upgrade both of these temples, I'm still 1 short, so I'm going to have to destroy something in order to get to where I need to be. Well, let's actually just go ahead and upgrade both of them, I guess. Good thing I got this stupid thing. That's good. If I had the H2 one, that'd be better. And then I have to blow up a unit. Well, it feels bad to get rid of science. Food. If I get rid of a guy, I'm actually losing a food per turn. Am I ever going to get workers from the bank? I'm going to risk it. This is a bit of a pro move here, quote unquote. So I am losing 1, then the other. And then if you don't have enough food, you actually lose culture. It's like minus, I think, 4 culture per food that you're short or something. Kind of insane like that. So a little bit hairy on that front. But yeah, we'll see if that works for me. I don't think I'm going to get any movies or multimedia. I'm just going to grab Efficient Upgrade to make it cheaper to get to computers. It's actually going to make the upgrade to computers free, minus, of course, the civil action. It might have actually been just correct to simply do a War over Culture there. Now that I think about it, just to steal points. We'll see. This person's stealing my space flight that I wanted, because that would have been pretty good for me. How much would it have been for me? I can't see it now that he has it. I don't know how much it would have been. He got shock troops, which is an H3 tactic, but luckily because his swordsmen are his infantry, it's antiquated. So I'm going to steal a token from him. Not that it matters a bit. It actually blocks this consumption spot, which is good. And it gives me a worker to use. So that's actually pretty good all in all. Okay, so here this wonder, is it even doing anything for him? 13 points. God, that's pathetic. Well, he's blocking me from doing it, so it's not necessarily a bad move on his part. We got Hollywood and fast food chains. Fast food chains would give me points. Hollywood would give me Hollywood would give me like 2 points, I think, for that printing press. So, yeah, we might get fast food chains, might not. So right now with 7 cards in the deck, if I took 4 cards from the row, it would actually end the game on his turn. I'm not sure I want to do that, though. Let's see. Do I do War Over Technology? I really would have liked to have gotten the Civil Service for the 2 extra civil actions. Sadly, that's not in the cards. It'd be great to have gotten Democracy. I can get that next turn. I could just play Impact of Strength for 13 points, 3 for the card, plus 10 for the actual effect of it at the end. Impact of Wonders, that can't be too great. Yeah, not super awesome. Well, I could just do the War Over Technology, steal some science. With War Over Technology, you can also steal blue technologies. So if I'm like 6 ahead of him, I could actually potentially like steal Code of Laws. That might be good. Let's do this. I might regret it if I draw a second War Over Culture at the end of this turn. But if I don't draw that, then I'm going to be probably... gosh, I don't know. This is just a lot of points. This is 13 points. Am I really going to get more value from the science I steal than 13 points? Probably not. So let's put this in. I'll still regret it if I end up drawing another War Over Culture that I didn't get to play both Wars Over Culture. But okay, let's go ahead and grab the computers. Upgrade for free. Sure, I'll upgrade the other one as well, I suppose, then. So making a zillion science. It's important to do a little bit of counting to make sure that you can actually use all your science. I'm going to have 17, just enough for Democracy. The computer could hate draft Democracy from me. I am actually going to get that Democracy. Oh, wait, no. I can't research it right now. Is it worth it just to take it? It's what, 3 for Albert and 3 for itself. But the thing is, it's like the cost of 2 technology cards. So probably I'm better off just researching 2 other things, right? So 17. Well, in professional sports, I could do them both. But I can't take them both if I'm upgrading both of my computers. Well, I could just take 1. And then at 17, I can also do Modern Infantry if necessary. My opponent probably cannot hate draft the Multimedia and the Modern Infantry. With my last action, though, what the hell do I do? There's nothing really useful to do with this. Like, I could take Efficient Upgrade and build a lab and then upgrade to spend an extra action to save rocks, but then I don't really need any more computers than what I've already got. So I guess maybe it could have been right to just end the game and take enough cards, although with 6 actions, I'm not sure I could easily take 4 cards. I'd take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically take my entire turn taking cards, and I'd have to have the hand space, which I don't think I did. Okay, so... yeah, I guess my last action's kind of wasted. I guess I could just, let's see, I'm going to lose 2 more workers here. So I'll just build another temple. It's an extra point per turn, and it stops my happy faces from being an issue. Aha, I did draw a second War Over Culture. Good job, me. So he's going to lose his developed territory losing a yellow pip, a blue pip. Oh, one thing I didn't actually mention with colonies. So, if we can look at them while his turn is going. When you lose a colony, you lose the bottom part of it, but you don't lose the instant part of it. So, like, for example, this developed territory he just lost, when you get one of these, you get a yellow token and a blue token and 3 science. But when you lose one, you just lose the yellow token and the blue token. You don't lose 3 science. So the instant benefit you get to keep forever, even if you lose the colony later. Okay, I didn't look at his turn or anything, but it shouldn't matter too much, hopefully. Let's go ahead and declare a War Over Culture. I don't think he's going to be able to beat me, not with this worker situation being what it is. Well, let's just be careful and look at it just in case. He can make a tank. Yeah, he's not going to get there. Okay. He also can't research Modern Infantry. Good times. So, fast food chains actually is probably my best play. In general, it's really good to get these wonders online. I'm 1 action short of being able to take and research satellites and put the fast food chains under construction. Fast food chains is in the bitch spot, so I can't just wait for it. Like, I could have potentially, like, taken it next turn for 3 and spent 2 civil actions thanks to architecture to just build it in one go, but I can't do that. So the satellites, I mean, it's worth considering if I can research this because it gives me 3 strength and I'm doing a war over culture. Let's just go ahead and commit to that. This is effectively worth 6 points because I steal 3, and when you steal 3 from your opponent and it's your only opponent in the game, it's essentially a 6-point swing. But fast food chains is more than that, even if you account for the fact that I might be able to do more things with the science. I could take democracy and research it as well. Then I have 14, which is not quite good enough to do satellites and pro sports, unless I use this worker here to build a lab. But the problem is that that worker, I'm much better off using him to just make an air force, because that's essentially 10 points. I'm stealing an extra 5 points from the opponent. 7 plus 9 is 16 on the nose, so I can exactly make the fast food chains. Yeah, it just sucks that I cannot do 2 technologies, but I still think that's probably best, because this gives essentially 3 points per turn, which is what I get for researching a tech with Albert Einstein. I'll still take the satellites. This is better to research than pro sports because it's a blue technology and there's an event the opponent might have put in that gives you points equal to twice your level of blue technologies. So, like, if he plays the event that gives you points per age 3 tech, they're the same. But this one also counts for the points per, or double points per level of blue technology. This would be 6 points for that event. So it's a very good technology. You'll have famine and lose 4 culture. Oh, are you kidding me? So basically, building a farm is worth 4 points. What did I do? And is there anything I did that's worth? Yeah, I think that's actually still the best thing for me to do. I think that the other stuff I did was all worth more than 4 points. We'll see if that's correct or not. So I can't play the war in my next turn, because you can't declare war on your last turn of the game. Okay, so he's building tanks, makes sense. And swordsman, makes sense. Is he gonna have revolt? Yeah, he's having revolt, so he doesn't produce culture or science or rocks or anything. Now, the last turn of the game, it's okay to go into revolt, since, I mean, unless you have a really high culture production, it doesn't actually matter too much. And sometimes it's correct, even not on the last turn, to just put everything into military, so you can win a war that may be more valuable than whatever you get normally. So there's some really cool mechanics there with the revolt stuff. Okay, so what do we do now? I can do armed intervention, although if any of these is a defense card, take a quick look here. So if he has one of these 3 defense cards, then that does nothing. What do I get for this? This is actually huge. He has 0 levels of buildings. Wow. So this is basically like one of those impact events. I'm 10 ahead. Yeah, that's definitely the best thing to play. So let's go ahead and just play it. Industry's great. It's culture per rock production from your mines. It specifies mines because there are things that, like Bill Gates, that can produce rocks through other means besides mines. So it specifies that. Let's go ahead and research the satellites. Wine that we're a science short for making pro sports. Build the fast food chains. I don't have any rocks to spare, so I can't tease any more points out of this. And then after that, I am kind of wasting my last turn. Sadly, there's nothing I can do, so maybe I could have played it better. This often does happen, that you, like, have a bunch of wasted actions on your final turn. So that means that maybe you could have, like, packed up more, or, like, done less on previous turns and, like, taken more slow plays. Kind of like the reverse of the beginning of the game. You know, I said in the beginning of the game, it's usually a good idea to, if there's something that you have to do eventually, just do it now, instead of putting it off for later. Maybe at the end of the game, it's better to put things off. But anyway, we did pretty well against the hard AI here. I don't always do this well. Like I said, I admit sometimes I lose against them. But in this case, I more than doubled his score. Did I more than double his score? Yeah, that's 156 if you double it. So yes, I more than double it. I'm pretty happy about that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe. And stay tuned. I will try to play some games against live humans. We'll see if the baby naps long enough that I can actually pull that off. See you guys soon.